Good evening. Welcome to the latest edition of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Dennis Khrulov, with forecaster Connor Freidhoff. So that warm air on Wednesday was pretty nice. Do we see any more warmer air coming in for the rest of the weekend and into next week?
Well, we won't be breaking any records like we've been recently, but the temperatures are going to be tapering off back down to about near average levels for the weekend, but they'll be rebounding back up into the 50s to start the next week.
Sounds good. As long as we see those spring-like conditions, they'll be fine by me. Anyway, I've heard we've had some interesting nature and news stories lined up for this evening. Connor, what do you have to add to this?
Well, I'll be talking about an asteroid that burned up over the English Channel, as well as the Minnesota Department of Transportation's snowplow naming contest. I think the folks at home will get a kick out of that one. What do you have for us tonight?
So I'll be talking about the East Palestine trail derailment, which has caused some concerns for local residents as a controlled explosion occurred last week. And then for my second story, we'll be taking it up to the stratosphere, talking about an event that could disrupt the March pattern.
Well, let's not hesitate. Let's get right into it.
Let's jump into your first nature and a news story.
It's been a mild winter, to say the least, and though Pennsylvanians haven't had to break out the snowplows too much this season, Minnesotans have found a new way to personalize their own. The Minnesota Department of Transportation held a contest to name 8 different snowplows currently in their fleet. Any resident of the state could submit an entry to the contest. Through a process of elimination, finalists were selected for public online voting. Over 60,000 votes were cast, and 8 winners were selected from a field of 60 finalists. Some of the winning names include You're a Blizzard Harry, Better Call Salt, Sleetwood Mac, Han Snowlow, and Blizzo. The Minnesota Department of Transportation has performed this tradition each year since the 2020-21 winter season. The reason for the 8 selections involves the 8 districts that the MNDOT divides Minnesota into, meaning each district will receive a unique plow to aid in the road clearing. The snowplow fleet now consists of 25 uniquely named snowplows, in addition to the existing plows.
On the evening of Friday, February 3rd, a train of 150 cars derailed outside the small town of East Palestine, Ohio, which has a population of roughly 5,000 residents, located around an hour northwest of Pittsburgh. Inside the cars contained dangerous and combustible materials, such as vinyl chloride. On Monday, February 6th, a controlled burn occurred, fearing a much larger explosion would occur, which sent chemicals and smoke into the sky over the town. Due to a warm layer just around 2,000 feet into the atmosphere, these parcels were unable to rise much further, creating a doomsday-like scene for nearby residents. Since the event, concerns have risen for the safety of the residents within the accident site, as reports from the public contain deceased animals and fish, with also reports of a chemical odor in the air. Residents of East Palestine have also reported headaches and nausea ever since the derailment. Based on the latest report from the EPA on February 12th, the air quality tests have not detected contaminants at level of concern. Homes have been screened from the EPA to detect any vinyl chloride or hydrogen chloride, which can both be life-threatening to human life. However, none had been detected as of now. Additionally, multiple tests have been set up down the Ohio River to detect any contamination from the spill. The Ohio Environmental Protection Agency continues to work on the cleanup, which will begin with removing materials from the site and assessing the potential damage caused by the explosion.
Folks in Europe had a sight to behold on Monday. A meteor streaked across the night sky, meeting its end over the English Channel. The resulting light show was particularly luminous, as individuals in the Netherlands, France, and southern England reported seeing the space rock combust in midair. The meteor, named 2023 CX-1, posed no threat to Earth, as its 3-foot diameter meant that it wouldn't survive descent through the atmosphere. This comes almost 10 years on the date to the most recent meteor headline. On February 15, 2013, a 55-foot wide asteroid exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia, injuring around 1,200 people and causing around $33 million in damages. NASA estimates that there are around 15,000 near-Earth asteroids that can destroy a large city, though given the technology we have today, we would have fair warning if this were the case. This is, however, a stark reminder that the Earth lacks a unified planetary defense system against flying space objects.
Meteorologists are beginning to hint at a potential sudden stratospheric warming event, or short for SSW, over the next few weeks, which could have large implications for the springtime pattern. First of all, what is a sudden stratospheric warming event? An SSW occurs when the stratospheric temperature warms by as much as 122 degrees Fahrenheit over just a few days. This process occurs every 2 years over the northern hemisphere and once 2 to 3 decades across the southern hemisphere. The polar vortex can either be displaced or split when an SSW occurs. But exactly how? When the stratosphere rapidly warms, this drastic temperature change leads to a disruption of the polar vortex across the Arctic regions. Now, what could this mean for us folks across the eastern United States? While the effects from a disruption of the polar vortex can lag behind for several weeks, so the impacts are not immediately felt. However, from a polar vortex disruption, changes in the jet stream will likely occur, which may increase the chances of much colder air to spill into portions of Europe, Asia, and even into the eastern United States. Each sudden stratospheric warming event behaves in a different way, so it is not a guarantee that colder conditions will spill into the time for the start of spring. And in fact, there is still the possibility for the springtime warmth to continue into the month of March.
The warmer conditions we've been seeing recently are going to be taking a bit of a recess as we get into the weekend. Let's see how we get there. On Friday, we have a system moving through a couple of low-pressure systems that are going to be bringing some rain showers to the eastern seaboard, especially along that stationary front as we cross over into New York and New England. Much of the central and eastern portions of the Commonwealth are going to be experiencing quite the amount of rain showers. But as we get closer to the lakes here around Erie, Buffalo, Rochester, New York, seeing some snow showers, but we go in between. There's that changeover stretching all the way down from New York down into West Virginia, parts of eastern Kentucky. There's that changeover, so some parts of the Commonwealth are going to be seeing both rain and snow showers for their Friday. West of that, mainly colder conditions, lower temperatures, and some partly cloudy skies. On Saturday, we have a high-pressure system down there in Kentucky and West Virginia, pushing away clouds, making it nice and sunny for our region. However, it comes with a side effect. It's going to be much cooler, down into the 40s on Saturday, and into Saturday night it'll be down into the 20s. That high pressure system goes out to sea on Sunday, so a few more clouds here and there on Sunday, especially more in the western portion of the state. But these conditions, we're going to have much more dry air, and as you go further south down into the Virginia and North Carolina, conditions are much more mild. Temperatures will be breaking into the 50s, maybe even 60s down south. Friday we have that rain shower threat. 45 degrees, a little bit colder than what we've been seeing during the week, but still above average for this time of year. Friday night, we start out the low with a two twos, in fact, 22 degrees, and mainly some colder conditions for our area. As we get into Saturday, the colder trend continues. 42 degrees, again, still above average, some sunny skies, so a nice Saturday for Thon weekend. Saturday night, we go back down below 30, below freezing again. 29 degrees with a few clouds passing here and there. As we round out the weekend on Sunday, 48, a bit of a rebound back up towards the 50s. And stay tuned, our very own Kyle Eck has a feature on a Penn State snow day. Stay tuned.
It has been a very warm start to the year here in Pennsylvania. Some days have featured high temperatures in the 50s with abundant sunshine. The recent spring-like warmth has led to some Penn State University students thinking whether or not we will see big-time snow before winter season ends.
We'll have like a brief period of where there is no snow, like in a weird time like mid-February where you would think that there would be, but then all of a sudden a big snowstorm comes out of nowhere. So I think keeping along with that trend, probably sometime in April.
I really don't. I think that it's just been so warm lately. I could see a few, 3 to 6 inch events somewhere in the Northeast, but I'm not really expecting, to get a foot plus. No huge events.
Following the Arctic cold in early February, temperatures jumped well above average for days, allowing flowers to sprout across parts of Penn State, a sign that Punxsutawney Phil's prediction for 6 more weeks of winter may have been wrong. With many people's minds already on spring, it may be hard to imagine what getting a snow day may be like. To jog your mind a little, let's turn the calendar back to January 25th, when Penn State was last closed due to snow. Late on January 24th, students across the Penn State University Park campus received a text message confirming classes were canceled the following day for an impending winter storm. On Wednesday, 2.9 inches of snow fell, transforming the landscape. As Happy Valley became a snow globe that Wednesday morning, students from across Penn State's University Park campus woke up to see fluffy white snow blanketing the ground. As the storm continued, many students enjoyed their day off and ventured out to relive some favorite winter childhood pastimes, including snowball fights, snowman building, sledding, makeshift snowboarding, and even makeshift skiing. While the storm was enough to shut down campus, the snow wasn't enough to keep students from doing day-to-day activities.
Probably for the rest of the day, I'm going to go get some food and probably work on homework.
Well, we already went and got boba tea today. We're planning on doing a little bit of coding later on.
Yeah, probably some homework for class, but enjoying the snow, especially. Maybe making a snowman later.
Yeah, snowball fight. We've already had a little bit of a snowball fight today.
I'll be outside walking around and then taking pictures and of course sled riding, which should be a great snow day, finally.
No appreciable snowfall is in the cards in the near future, so for snow lovers, last month's snow day will unfortunately remain a memory moving forward. For Whether or Not, I'm Kyle Eck.
We'll be going back to more normal conditions for the month of February, but it won't feel like normal as we've been having the last 2 weeks. However, looking at the weekend, on Friday we do have that rain threat. The highs go back up into the 40s, but take a look at those lows on Friday and Saturday, back down into the 20s, feeling more like winter. However, those temperatures are going to make a rebound back into the high 40s and even the 50s for some spots on Sunday. As we take the first look at next week, Monday, we get out to a blazing start at the gate. 50 degrees and some sunny, mainly sunny conditions. However, Tuesday and Wednesday we see more of a reality check. Going back down to those near winter-like conditions, still above average for the time being, but Wednesday and Thursday is where we start to see the next threat of rain showers. As we go into Thursday and Friday, back near the average line. We'll take a look at Friday, folks. Back down below average. The projected high is about 34 degrees, so we'll be going to have a below average day. Feels like for the first time in February, we'll be having those winter-like conditions make a comeback at the end of next week.
And now for your Weather Whiz quiz answer. What was the highest ever recorded February temperature in State College? Was it A, 68 degrees, B, 72 degrees, C, 74 degrees, or D, 81 degrees? If you guessed C, 74 degrees, you are in fact correct.
This is absolutely insane to see shorts weather in February. I mean, it's incredible. We had a 70 on Thursday. We came very close to that record.
Yeah, we did hit 72 back on Wednesday, and it was in fact pretty warm out there. I did get my run in, and I saw all the others out in the Hub Robeson Center enjoying the sunny day as well.
Yeah, well, always going to have those students out there getting their sun in when you have a day like this, but it feels like it should be in April, not in February.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see some winter return sometime soon. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Make sure to stay tuned for next week's show.